everyone. My name is Caitlin Maniscalco, and I'm here with Figured Out Baseball for another episode of Real Dugout Confessions. Today, I'm joined by senior outfielder Marisa Moore from the Rhodes College softball team. Marisa, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Marisa is my first softball guest, so it's dear to my heart. I'm very, very excited. And my sister actually played softball at Rhodes with Marisa, so that's how we have that connection, which is awesome.
Yes.
And so something that I find really interesting about Rhodes in general and the way Coach Wags recruits is you guys are from like all over the country. I feel like everyone is spread out. So he has a very diverse range of recruiting. So can you just think back to your experience and how you got recruited and why you wanted to go to Rhodes?
Yeah, I think it's wild that we only have one girl from Tennessee on our team out of 17. And I thought that was like pretty comforting for me coming from San Diego, which is like pretty far away, to know that I'm not the only one like in that kind of situation. There's quite a few California girls, quite a few like Florida. We have someone from Maine, Seattle. So it's pretty cool. I feel like Coach Wags was one of my like favorite and easiest coaches to talk to going through the recruiting process. He was very open and was very quick to reply to my emails and like always just communicating with me and kind of like kept up with me throughout my like, I'm gonna say sophomore, junior year. I think I verbally committed the very beginning of my senior year. And something like crazy to me that he was like one of the only coaches that I was being recruited by that never saw me play in person. So that made me a little nervous just coming to Rhodes, being like our first practice. I'm like, he's never seen me play. But we like sent lots of video to him and he would like watch some of the film and games that I'd be playing in California. And was always like very good at feedback and very positive. So really appreciated that. But my actual like story, how I met or like learned about Rhodes was pretty funny. It was like a tournament in California in the summer between like sophomore, junior year. And my dad was like going to the bathroom and on his way, he like ran into the assistant Rhodes softball coach at the time. And he just like started talking to her and she gave him his card. And like, after that, we looked into the school and he's like, I think you should like really look into this. And at first I was like, oh, Tennessee, I don't know if I want to go to the South. Yeah, and I loved California, but the more I looked into Rhodes and then finally visited it, I knew it was where it's supposed to be. So yeah.
Well, that's really interesting that you said he never even saw you play. So you sent, I'm assuming you had like an entire recruiting video, and then you said you also sent game footage?
Yeah, so we actually had a family friend we hired to like take a lot of video over my like sophomore, junior year from like just practices and games and like compile them together. So I had a bunch of different videos I just put on like a YouTube channel. And then, yeah, they were just like pretty easily accessible. So I could just like send my channel over to coaches and helped a lot with that. But yeah, I talked to a lot of other girls on my team and they were kind of in the same boat. Most of them like had not like seen him in person before they got there. So
right. No, that's awesome because I think that a lot of people don't understand like the value behind those videos, but a lot of coaches are very receptive to them and they kind of use that just to make their decision. So that's awesome that it worked out really well for you. And did you always want to go D3 or were you looking at other divisions or you were kind of set on D3 from the beginning?
I talked to other like NAIA, a couple D1s. I don't know if I talked to many D2s, but I think once it got closer to my senior year, I really like prioritized what I wanted in a college. And like, although like my goal was to play college softball, I wanted to be able to have other opportunities like with internships and joining a sorority and just, you know, like having that like college experience plus softball. So that's when I really started narrowing like the smaller D3 schools. And St. Jude was like a big part of me wanting to come to Memphis as well as Rhodes because so I like have interned there for the past 3 years with like
amazing.
Yeah, it's like been one of the highlights of being in Memphis. But so there's just like other little factors that kind of made me realize D3 is what I wanted to do.
Right. And I love hearing from D3s because I actually interviewed my friend Jack, who plays at St. John Fisher up near me. And he said something so similar. He was like, I wanted that experience both on the field and I wanted like the experience in the classroom. And I think D3 is a great balance. And a lot of people kind of neglect it because they have those goals of, I want to go D1, I want to go D1. And they forget about some of the really competitive Division III schools.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, sometimes you get to D1 and then you never even see playing time. And I don't know, I just knew I wanted to still have that. So that was another reason.
No, yeah, absolutely. And so I know my coach personally asks us our opinion about recruits on campus. So whenever we have like overnights for prospective students, she's always saying like, all right, like give me the rundown, like how were they? Does Wags do something similar to that with you guys, or does he not really want the players' inputs?
I think he does. I only had one recruit when I was a sophomore or a freshman. So I think I haven't had too much one-on-one experience with that, but I know there's been some recruits where like some of my teammates were like, I'm not so sure about it. So you bring up like those concerns, which I think is fair if they're going to be on the same team as you.
Right.
I feel like Wags would want to know if there are any issues or vice versa, if they're like amazing and like they should really push to get them to go there. So, yeah.
And can you think of any like do's and don'ts for a high schooler going on a recruiting visit or just a high schooler going to those showcases and like camps and clinics? Like anything that you remember that stuck out to you, like, oh, this is what you should do. This is absolutely what you shouldn't do.
Yeah. Obviously, like it's always good to ask questions and show your interest. Like you want to show that you want to be there.
Right.
And just like being as open and like respectful as possible, especially like when you're coming on to campus for a visit, like you're going to be staying with people that already live there. And maybe just try not to like break certain rules, especially with like if there's games coming up and like the team's not supposed to be drinking, you probably shouldn't be drinking either. So, but also you still want to have fun, like it's like your visit and you want to see if you can fit in there. So I feel like there's a line between having fun and being safe.
Right. No, yeah. It's like that balance of you want to be fun and like be vocal to show your interest. But at the same time, it's like if you come off as too comfortable,
right?
Kind of like, oh,
yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So I'm trying to find like a fun question for everyone that I interview that sticks. So this is a newer one, but I know for me personally, for those doubleheader games, because, baseball and softball were the only sports that plays games back to back. My favorite like doubleheader snack would be Mott's, like the gummies. So what is your favorite doubleheader snack or like pregame meal before your second game?
Oh gosh.
I know it's tough.
I know. Mott's are my favorite fruit snacks out of those.
So good. I know, I love them.
Yeah, they are so good. We always get like sandwiches. Like I don't know if they like bring food to the whole team in between games or do you bring your own? But like
you like make sandwiches before, but yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a huge sandwich girl, but like I'm hungry and I also don't like trying to eat too much before a game because I don't want to like throw it up on the field.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If I had a choice, like I don't know. I like honestly, this is bad, but like those chocolate chip cookies that come in like the packages. Like there was one, we went to Sewanee one year and we got like a different kind of sandwich place. And those cookies are like the biggest and best chocolate chip cookies I ever had. So honestly, I could just eat those before games and be fine.
That is so funny. All right, so you heard it here, everyone. You don't need to be healthy. Marissa's having chocolate chip cookies before a game. It's perfect.
Yeah, that'll get you through the 7 innings for sure.
And is there anything that, thinking back, you wish that you did a little bit differently when getting recruited or going through that process, or were you kind of set on your decision?
I don't think I would do anything differently or regret anything. I like thinking back, I thought I wanted to like major in biology and go into like a different field. And if I knew I wanted to be an occupational therapist, there are like certain schools that I actually was recruited by that could help get me through that field a little bit quicker and more efficiently.
Okay.
Um, so I think if I could like know what I wanted to do a little earlier, my decision probably would have been different, but I don't regret it at all. Like I love Rhodes and I've made so many cool friends here and I'm gonna miss Memphis, but yeah.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
And then last question, this is for any, I would say from 7th to 8th grade and then all the way up to like seniors in high school.
Mhm.
Any advice that you would give them who are going through a process that you went through? I know it seems long ago, but only like 4 years ago.
Oh my gosh. I guess just like stay in the moment, have fun. 7th and 8th grade, like you still have high school. Don't like worry about college so much. Like you want to be in the moment. It's not worth stressing. Like everything's gonna work out. Just don't. I mean, I always felt like I missed out on so many of my like friends' birthday parties growing up, and like I never had weekends. But at the same time, it like let me bond with my parents on like 10-hour car rides, like on the weekends and things like that. So I don't know, just like try to soak everything up and not worry too much about your future. It's gonna work out.
No, that's awesome. And I agree. I think I remember going to those camps and clinics and all the coaches said, like, if you want to play in college, like you'll find a school.
Right.
So I feel like people put so much pressure and so much stress, as you just mentioned, that they kind of forget to like live in the moment and just enjoy the sport.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I don't know if they're still allowed to, but like I knew like middle schoolers were like committing to D1 schools. They don't even have a high school GPA yet,
Right.
but yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Marisa, best of luck on the field this season. I'm hoping that you get a full season, full senior year, and thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.